You don't have to pay a framer to frame your pastels. You can get a good professional look doing it yourself. Let's talk about a few options today. There are plenty of ways to store your pastel paintings so that they are protected and don't get smudged, but if you really want to enjoy and display your work, then you really need to frame them. The problem is it can be a little intimidating to frame pastels. It's a little different than framing other types of painting. But the good news is you don't have to go to a framer to get a good professional look. And your collectors will love it if they get good quality frames with your pastels, and maybe you can save a little money too. Let's check it out. Now, of course, you're going to need some tools and supplies like a good quality frame and some quality glass. But let's go through everything that you'll need. Now, of course, you're going to need a frame. This is a closed corner plein air style frame, but any frame that's quality that you want to use will do. Just make sure that the rabbet, which is the space here on the side, has room for everything that you need that we'll go through here in a minute. And of course, you're going to need some glass. I don't recommend acrylic because it can build up some static. There are some types of acrylic that are static free, but they are more expensive. But you can find a good quality glass. Just look for something that's within your budget, within your price range. This is Artglass AR70, which is a good anti-glare glass that's not too expensive. It's not cheap either though. Another alternative is TrueView UV70, which is very similar to this glass. But just find something that's quality within your price range. Now you're also going to want some hanging hardware. This frame that I purchased came with this hardware. It's got some wire in it and it's got some hangers on the side. We'll go through later what's in this. And then you're going to need a point shooter. Points are what hold your artwork and the backing into the frame. And this is like a staple gun. It's going to shoot these little points into the side of the frame. You're also going to need a screwdriver to drive in the screws for your hardware. Depending on how dense your frame is, you may want to get a powered screwdriver. Then you'll need some wire cutters to cut your hanging wire. For one option, you're going to need some framers tape. This is a plastic tape that can create an airtight seal around your glass and your artwork. We'll come back to this in a minute. For one option, you're going to need spacers. This is a strip of plastic. They come in long strips. You can cut down to the size you need. It has a peel-off backing that's sticky on one side, and this creates space between your glass and your artwork. And if you like to frame with a mat, then you're going to need some mats. You're going to need two because we're going to do a double matting technique. And of course, you're going to need your artwork. So let's get started. We're going to walk through three different options for framing this piece of art. So first, you'll need to prep your frame for framing. A lot of times, especially if there's any type of gold leaf or this interior gold ribbing like this, then you'll have a lot of leftover powder and residue. I just like to run through this with an old rag and just get rid of some of that residue around the edges. It's just powdery and it can get between your frame and your artwork. Next, we're going to place our glass into the frame. And of course, you're going to want to clean this glass before you place it in here. You want to use some glass cleaner, quality glass cleaner, and make sure that you are grabbing it at the edges. Be careful because they can be sharp, of course, but place it gently into the frame. Now do one last wipe down on the back here and make sure you pick up all of the little dust particles. This is where you might want to use your glass cleaner and make sure you get all of that. You can always clean the outside later, but right now we just want to make sure all of the stuff that gets between the glass and our art is removed. Now the first type of framing is using mats. Now I don't prefer using mats, just personal preference. I like to have mat-free framing. But if you like to have the look of a mat, of course you can choose a color that goes with your artwork. But you're going to need two mats and two that are the same size. And we're going to have one mat that faces the normal direction. So every mat has a bit of a bevel along the edge. And we want that bevel for the first mat to face out. And we lay that into our frame. Now this mat's not the right size for this frame, but you can get the idea there. And then our second mat, we're just going to flip over and we're going to have the bevel facing towards us. We're going to place it directly on the other mat. Now the reason we're doing this with two mats is because we're going to have one mat that faces out towards the viewer, and we're going to have one mat that faces towards the artwork. And by doing this, we create a little pocket here between this inner mat and the artwork that will sit here. And that pocket will catch any dust that may fall off over time and accumulate inside of our frame. Next, you're going to need your artwork, of course, and you want to make sure that you line up that artwork with your mat just where you want it to go. Now again, this is not the right mat size for this artwork, but just to give you an idea, we want to line that up and get it centered. And now you can use that framer's tape I mentioned earlier that's archival, and you can fix it in place. And then you want to make sure that you have some kind of backing to go behind this. Now this artwork, most of my artwork, I pre-mount my paper to a foam core, an archival foam core, acid-free backing, and then I place it into my frame. But if you just paint on the plain paper and there is no backing, make sure you have an archival acid-free backing to go behind that. You can use a matte stock, you can use archival foam core, but make sure you have a backing to go behind this, and then affix this all together as you normally would for a watercolor or any type of painting. Make sure everything is nice and secure. And then of course, when you're all done with that, you're going to use your point shooter, which we'll come back to later, and you're going to secure the painting into the frame. Now the next two options are my preferred method of framing, simply because I don't prefer the matte look. I like to have the painting go just to the edges of my frame. And so the two options we have left available to us are, number one, to use this spacer material that I mentioned earlier. It comes in long strips like so, and you can cut it down to the size that you need. It's just a long strip of PVC plastic with the sticky backing. And what we're going to do is cut down strips that fit inside the edges of our frame. So I have one here that's already pre-cut. Now I don't want this to go all the way edge to edge, because the point of spacers like this is to allow airflow. The reason we would add spacers, whether it's a matte or a spacer like this, is to prevent mold and moisture from building up between the painting and the glass. And so this will allow airflow inside of the frame. So I want to grab some more pieces of my spacer, and I want one for each side, but it doesn't have to go all the way to the edge, as I mentioned. I'm going to grab my wire cutters. They work really well for this as well. So I just stick it inside here. It doesn't have to be perfect, and I just clip and get the right size piece for each side. Now we're going to do two more. And you can see here that none of these go edge to edge. They don't have to be perfect. They just need to be long enough to support your painting when you place it in here. So next I would remove the backing on each of these pieces, and it's sticky on this side. And then I would place those sticky side down against the glass. Now when you're placing these, you may need to reposition your glass inside of the frame to make sure that it's centered, and make sure that you have a good solid glass surface along the edges here for your spacer to stick to. Once you have your spacers in place, then you can take your artwork, and again, this is attached to a backing. I would strongly recommend that you attach your artwork to the backing before you insert it into and you insert it like this. And then I would take my point shooter and just put some points in on all sides to support my artwork. Now the third option is called Passe Partout framing. And the whole idea is to make the glass, the artwork, and the backing all one piece using tape all around the edges so that everything is airtight and it's all sealed. We want the glass, the art, the backing to be all one piece. Now again, this is to prevent air, moisture, humidity from getting in between the glass and our artwork and causing mold or any type of problems that the moisture can bring. So this can be a little tricky at first, takes a little practice, but it's not too difficult once you get it down. We want to make sure that we place our art down with our backing. Again, if your art is adhered to your backing before you start this process, that will make this easier. You're going to place your glass on top of the artwork. And at this point, you want to be careful not to move the glass around too much, because you don't want to smudge and leave traces of your painting on the glass. So try to get it in place without too much. So this next step is a little bit easier if you hang your artwork, backing, glass sandwich off the edge of, say, a desk or your work surface. I'm just using this frame here to elevate it so you can see. But you're going to want to have access to this edge while you're working, and then you can rotate the piece and work on each edge. And the reason for that is because we're going to want to take our piece of framer's tape and align it along the edge of this piece. Now keep in mind that this tape will be visible if it exceeds the width of your little rabbit here. So make sure that you don't go too far into the surface of the glass. We just want to go along the edge and make sure that we get it adhered fairly well. And then holding everything in place so nothing moves, I'm going to fold the tape under, and I'm going to push it and adhere it to the backing behind my artwork. So I have it adhered on the front edge of the glass, and then if I flip over, you can see I've rolled it over and I've adhered it to the backing of the artwork. Now I'll run down the edge, the back of my fingernail, around each side with the back of my fingernail. I want to make sure I get a good seal. I want to make sure this is nice and tight and it's not going to move. All the while I'm not letting the glass and the artwork and the backing move, or as little as possible. And now I'm going to switch to the direct opposite side. So once again, line it up along the edge. Make sure it's not too far in because you don't want to be able to see this tape once we frame. Adhere it to the glass, wrap it under tightly, and adhere it to the backing. Okay, once that's complete, and you have tape along all of the edges, everything is nice and firm, the corners are folded down and sealed, making sure that we don't have anywhere that air can leak in. Then I simply flip over the artwork, place it in my frame, and now I'm ready for my point shooter. Now let's finish off this framing job by adding the hardware. Now this frame here came with some hardware, which is very handy. It comes with some loop rings and the wire that we need, as well as the screws. But if you don't have all this, just make sure that you find the right picture wire and some hardware that you can use for your frame. So we have picture wire here, and then we have the rings here that will be screwed into the frame, and these will hold our wire on either side. And then of course this set comes with the screws that we'll need as well. Your picture wire should be mounted about 1/3 or so of the way down on the side of your picture frame. It doesn't have to be perfect, about 1/3. If you want to, you can take a ruler and you can measure out to make sure that it's even on both sides, or 1/3 down. But I'm just going to choose a location that I think looks good. And then I'm going to just check on my ruler here. It's 9 inches down. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Now the nice thing about using picture wire and this type of mounting technique is you don't have to be perfect here. The wire is going to string across and it will account for any discrepancy in the distance or any small mistakes you might make. So it's no big deal as long as they're pretty close to the same distance down from the top of your frame. Now I'm going to take my picture wire and I'm going to unravel about the amount that I need. Now I need enough that I can put one side through, fold it over like so, and then twist it so that it will hold. So I need enough picture wire to be able to do that on both sides. So I'm going to measure across. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Put that about the same spot. Pull this across, and I know I'm going to need maybe an extra 2 inches or so on either side. So I'll take that length that I pre-measured here, take my wire cutters, just snip that off. And then the rest I can save for another project. Now I need to screw in my brackets here on the sides. So I'm just going to take my power screwdriver here. Now there's a lot of extra hardware and screws in here. This set comes with these little brackets, but I'm not going to use all those. But what I will be using, which you don't have to, are these little plastic tubes that come with this set. And these are nice because they help to keep your wire folded over and twisted, and they also help protect these sharp ends from cutting anybody in case they were to reach around the back of the frame here. But we'll use those here in a second. So I'm going to take my wire, I'm going to string one side through, fold it over on this side, and then I'm just going to twist. Several twists around, give it a good pull, make sure that's not going anywhere. And I'm going to take that plastic tubing and I'm going to slide it on to the wire and all the way down and over the top of the twist here at the other end. I twist it as I put it on so that it retains the twist of the wire, the loop there. Again, fold it over. We're looking for a little bit of slack in this wire. It doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit. So I'm going to fold over, twist it up again, and that's good to go. So which type of framing should you use? Well, it's really up to your preference, but there are a few things that might influence your decision. First, should you use a mat when you paint? Well, that really comes down to preferences of a gallery. If you're in a gallery, your potential buyers, it can be regional. Some galleries, some buyers, they don't like a mat. Some would like to have a mat. It really comes down to who your buyers are, so you have to do a little research to figure that out. Now, if you're not going to use a mat, why would you choose using spacers over framing directly against the glass? And again, it probably comes down to preference and your comfort level with the different types of framing. Now, I will say that with a larger painting, if you use spacers, you do have the possibility of the glass flexing a bit, because with that large surface area, there's going to be more room for that glass to flex and bend. Will that produce more potential for breakage? It could be. So it could be for a larger painting, you may want to frame directly against the glass and use that method. But for a lot of smaller paintings, the spacer method works fine. It's probably a little bit easier. It does cost a little bit more because you have to buy that spacer material, but it's probably a little bit easier than trying to make sure you get tape all the way around those edges. But either one works. Professional artists use both methods and sell paintings all the time with both methods. Now, the best thing to do is really just to experiment and decide which one works for you. You can order plein air style frames online fairly inexpensively. They're pre-made frames of a certain size and you can just drop your painting right in. Now, the glass can be a little harder to come by, but if you find a good local framer that will work with you and will cut the glass for you, super easy. Find a good framer that will cut the glass and you don't have to worry about that part of it, and you get the size that you need. So dive right in. Start by framing something that you'd want to keep for yourself and hang on your own walls. Dive right in, do a few, you'll get the hang of it. It's pretty easy. Now go make something.